And John doing the hosting duties this week. It may go terribly wrong. So, first of all, how is everybody?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit dramatic, isn't it?
Terrible.
Well, you do look like a little bit like an old man wrapped up in a blanket.
If you walked over here, I've just noticed you're wearing. If you walked over here in a blanket,
No, I picked up John's blanket from the...
So.
I don't know what's worse.
No, he's come in and said he's cold. Even though we've been sat in a beer garden for like 2 hours before this. So, in February.
Why are you cold? Okay.
Because John had a jumper on and I had a t-shirt on.
Right,
Big
you've
difference.
caught a cold.
Big difference.
Just an old man. So, what has everyone been up to then? Starting with Mackerl.
I've been playing Metro Exodus.
Is it working now?
Yeah. So I hit fantastic game so far. It's a really good looking game. I found a groundbreaking glitch that just absolutely broke my game. There's only one person on Reddit that had found it as well. But I did send an error report to Epic Games, the people that are looking after the PC version of it. And basically, I got to this point, and it's halfway in the game, and the character that I'm with he doesn't script. He doesn't basically do. He goes off script and just stands there, and he can't. And then I tried to crawl out of the actual area. I managed to like jump up walls and just managed to get out of where I needed to be. And there's an invisible wall that just stops you from actually exiting the area.
I think I had that on another game. I'm just trying to remember what game.
So then this guy on Reddit, who is on PC, said, you're going to have to just start the whole chapter again, which is like 12 hours.
You got it on PC?
No, I got it on Xbox. So I ended up yesterday starting it again, but because I know everything valuable really was that I needed to get, I just ran to those precise
Whizzed through
areas. Yep, and
Well, back to stage one. And Harry?
I started playing Uncharted, the first one, and
you never played them before?
no, I get the hype behind why everyone loves Nathan Drake. He's funny as balls, but the controls of that game are so
very, very janky.
janky. Like,
Yeah, I did it the other month. Well, I did it before. When did I do it?
You did when you got your PlayStation. So, quite a while ago.
No, but I think I played The Last of Us first.
yeah,
But I did exactly what you did. You just got to push through.
yeah.
And just get to 2, and then 2's alright, 3 gets better, and then you're home free, and then when you get to 4.
I don't know. I wouldn't know how I'd rank them. I'd probably say 2 was my favourite.
Yeah, 2 was great.
2 was good.
I found like making jumps. You can't control your distance once you've jumped. So when you jump, if you overshoot it, you can't just land. There's no control. So I find like when the camera zooms out, if you misalign the jump slightly, you're off down a waterfall, and then the combat kicks off, and you whip out from behind cover, and you're pointing your gun up at a monkey in a tree rather than at the person you were aiming your camera at.
Yeah, I did have a lot of problems with Uncharted 1, but they're all gone by Uncharted 2.
I'd assume so. I want to push through because I'm enjoying the story, I'm enjoying the characters, they're interesting and they're all different. And
I don't know if it was me, because I played Uncharted 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 straight after, so I was in the frame of mind
That's
that
the
I
plan.
got that
Yeah.
control system. Are you playing it on PlayStation 4?
no, I'm playing it on PC.
Oh, okay.
How would I play it on PlayStation 4?
I don't know, you might have bought a PlayStation. That could have been something you were going to tell us. I bought a PlayStation.
No.
So it's like a cracked version.
No. Just yes, emulator.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed the Uncharted games. When I got to 3, that was great, and then I kind of was playing them, and I took myself back to 2008, I think, when the first one came out. And I remember playing it at my friend's house with a PlayStation, and I was a bit like, yeah, this is like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it was male.
Yeah, but just a male version. But
Yeah.
I at the time, it didn't interest me. I thought it's already been done. Personally.
Well, speaking of Tomb Raider, I finally started Shadow of Tomb Raider.
Shadow of Tomb Raider.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider,
Yeah.
and I've got to the... You've both played it, so no spoilers for you two, but I've just got... it's taken me a while to get there, because I've done 2 of the tombs, and I've done 1 of the crypts, but I've just, got to the town, the first town after the plane crash. So I've had the Jaguars chase me. I've killed the Empress Jaguar where she gets her...
The shanty town.
The shanty town.
The rickety one.
Yeah,
you first walk into a bar, an outdoor bar.
And she basically says, I'm the B&B.
Right.
So that's where I ended it yesterday. Okay. So I'm still very early on in the game. But I'm just enjoying it. I have had the whole sense that when I was in the jungle that a Jaguar was going to come out of anywhere.
Yep.
Even though they didn't.
It's a very pretty game.
It's a very, very pretty game. Because on the first one, you had the situation with the wolves, that the wolves kept respawning. In second one, the wolves kept respawning. So I was like, I don't want the Jaguars to come. These Jaguars have been quite scary. And there was obviously... Kate was like, why is that Jaguar took that other Jaguar away? I was like, I don't know. I'm the one that killed it.
I think you really come across...
You do.
Some of that stuff,
she comes and... the bloody Jaguar came and got me again. That's the bit I've just had. Just had that fight with that second Jaguar.
So you're quite not that you're kind of a bit through it, but not far through it. You've not got to some of the really good stuff.
No, I liked the tombs that I've played, the puzzle tombs.
Yeah, challenge tombs are one of the best parts.
So I missed the first challenge tomb. Now I've gone back and done it because I went into that area anyway. But I did the second challenge tomb where you think that someone's watching you and you get the climbing ability. That one was quite good, and it was like old Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
As well, whereas in old Tomb Raider, I was probably 10.
Yeah.
Going, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I used to watch my dad play those because I had no idea what I was doing. I used to play around. I used to get load up Tomb Raider 2 and just run around the mansion for hours.
Yeah.
And then I once tried to play the first level and couldn't do it.
That was the first game that I played to get all the collectibles. Like, you had the bronze, golden, and jade dragons. And I remember it was in the first level. It may have been Tomb Raider 2. Pretty sure it was Tomb Raider 2. And the jade dragon was in the T-Rex pit. And you could zip line over where the dinosaurs were, so you'd never have to see those dinosaurs in that game at all.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get the collectibles, you had to go down into the dinosaur pit, and it was terrifying. And going up against the T-Rex with two little pistols, it didn't work. I think I died several times. I think my mum had to do it in the end.
I remember. I do remember.
My mum loved
T-Rex
playing Tomb Raider.
Came across from the side,
Brilliant.
But other than that, the only other game I've been playing is the one that I bought on the PC, The Isle.
Does that still not work?
Oh no, it works fine now.
The graphics.
I've dropped the graphics a little bit, and it's running fine. I just had two very different experiences. So I went into a world. It was an EU server, so I was like, okay, we're still part of it today.
Mm-hmm.
I'll jump in the, and I was like playing as a T-Rex. Now to get to an adult T-Rex, you've got to play for about 4 hours. So I was 3 hours into this game, and it was just me and one other person in this 100-person server. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is great. I can just become an adult T-Rex, and as more people join this server, I'm the king of this server.
Right.
I fell down a cliff.
Of course you did.
3.5 hours in.
Of course you did.
So before I became an adult T-Rex, I died, and I was like, you know what? I'll just go into a server where there's more people. So I went on an official server of the game, and there was 99 people in there. So I went on, and I was playing around, and I was just like, first time I did it, I starved because I couldn't find any food. And I was like, I'm not enjoying this. And I was like, I haven't seen anyone. And then the next time I'm running around and I see an adult T-Rex, so I hide in a bush, and as I turn round, there's a pack of like Allosaurus behind me and eat me. So then I spawn back in, and I'm immediately killed by the same pack of Allosauruses again. And I was like, I may go back to playing on my own.
You're not selling this game to me.
No, I like it.
Every time we talk about it, you have negative experiences.
I have negative experiences, but the first... I did play it again and I got a little bit higher, but unfortunately I did bump into the adult T-Rex that decided it didn't want to take me on as its baby and ate me.
Okay. Jesus.
So, but because it's a survival game, if there's no food, you can go and kill other players to get the food, and you can pack up, but there are certain rules, like the dinosaurs that would pack up are allowed to pack up.
It's the same species or whatnot.
Yeah, so you can join a group with T-Rexes, but I think the maximum group size for T-Rexes is 3, whereas Raptors it's like 10.
10, yeah.
But it's good, and the whole aging mechanic of the dinosaurs, where you start off as a baby and get bigger and bigger, is good.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you're a sub-adult T-Rex, you can only be killed by adults, basically.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately,
Haven't got there yet,
I haven't got there yet, and gravity has been a downfall. But because I broke my leg.
Boom!
Yeah. So.
God damn it.
But yeah, playing anything else? Just
Got my
Metro?
first Apex Legends win finally. Oh my life, so chuffed, so
I need
chuffed.
to play it.
You do? We told you to play it last time.
Played it without any. Wasn't talking to the people I was with. The ping system in that game and the abilities between the characters. We won because all three people were using their abilities as a team. So I was healing people, pinging that I dropped the health. They were coming and using it. Guy with his shield was dropping the shield at appropriate times, and we won because of it. Like, you can't just run around solo in that game.
I discovered that earlier.
Yeah, I love it.
The ping system, it makes sense. Although, to be honest, next time we play with Cracker, I'm going to just mute him and play with the ping system.
Yep.
Because his directions and on where people are awful.
The ping system creates a universal language. So
Yes.
When Cracker says over there, well, over where? Like the ping system, it's there, or you can ping. There is
Cracker.
armor here.
God,
There
it's
is
so funny.
there is armor here, level 3.
Yeah, it's
you
a
know what I
bit
mean?
different. Like when actually on PUBG you have North 130 or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and Mike knows that it's in that direction. It may be a little bit different for me, but you know where to shoot. You haven't been on that in a while, have you?
No, I'm trying to get Metro and Resident Evil done, and then Sekiro is out next week.
What's that?
Isn't that
New
Dark
Dark
Souls,
Souls, yeah.
but Japanese samurai style?
It's From Software's new game.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Really?
No, I've not heard anything. But I don't play the Dark Souls games or those type of games.
Did you
anymore.
not? It was E3, wasn't it? Announced at E3.
It was announced a year before that, I think.
Like they showed it at E3, and everyone was like, "Ooh, that looks good." Or does your brain switch off when it's not got Marvel all over it?
There's not been any Marvel games.
No, I'm winding you up, and there has
Apart from
been Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
There was an
Sorry.
Avengers game, wasn't there? But then
That's been made by Square Enix.
Don't
it was
look
announced 2 E3s ago, and then nothing was heard last year. And
No, I don't know what they're going to do with that. If they carry on making the Spider-Man games, but then put another character in, and you make a giant universe like that. That's fine.
Disney's licensing of their franchises for video games has been awful. Like they've got these multi-million-dollar franchises in movies and TV, but they've not branched out into games, and they've even openly said we're rubbish at games. They've given Star Wars to EA. EA are ruining it, and Disney came out and said we don't know what good looks like to be able to.
yeah,
You know, we're just going to
Kingdom Hearts.
No, but that's not the franchises, though, is it? It's not like a Marvel. It's not like a tie-in game or anything like that.
yeah.
Well,
Marvel don't have to worry about licensing in their games; they can have everyone in them.
Yeah, I'd say that Kingdom Hearts is a franchise.
I'm not saying it's not a franchise. I'm talking about Disney's movie franchises,
Okay. But
like Star Wars and the Marvel MCU.
yeah, I still need to get Kingdom Hearts. I've got to carry on with 2. It's just it turns into such a time vortex of a game. that I
Why?
need to-
The
Why is
end
there
of.
so
Have you
many?
played the end of 2?
I've not played any Kingdom Hearts
Oh.
games. Years ago.
You played a Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
It's just that then. That time sync is the same.
So yeah, years and years and years ago, one of my friend's sisters, we always used to play Final Fantasy together. And she loved Kingdom Hearts, and I remember watching her run around with a giant key in her hand, hitting enemies, and Goofy was with her. I think I don't know what.
That
Yeah.
would have been Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which.
Probably
which
one if it was years ago.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, so Donald and Goofy follow you around at all times for the entire game.
Oh,
like the
okay.
2 psychics throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I've just never fancied it. And then when you said there's like 12 and then a new one, I'm a bit like,
Well, yeah, there's 1 and 2, and then you play 3. But
Yeah.
there are games on other consoles that's filling gaps of story.
Yeah, so
if
there's
you choose to.
1, and then Chain of Light, 2,
Chain of Memories.
Chain of Memories, sorry. Chain of Memories 2, and then I think there's 365 something. They've got very weird titles
There's a
as
game
well.
called Kingdom Hearts 365 over 2 days.
but they all play like Kingdom Hearts games.
No.
No. So 1 and 2 I'm assuming play very similar. I
And
can't
3.
remember
Yeah,
2.
Kingdom Hearts 1, 2 and 3.
I don't know about 3
the
because I
main-
haven't got on the battle
Yeah,
system
they're all
yet.
the same.
But Chain of Memories is a card-based game, so you need to collect cards in order to do your attacks, but you're still hitting the people, but you hit them with different powers depending on the card that you press X on. And a lot of people they liked the story, but they didn't like it because of the combat system.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, that's probably why that hasn't. But that was originally released on the game. I want to say the first Nintendo DS. So
Right.
we're keeping you up.
I'm very tired.
Well, on that note, then we'll move on to the topic of today, which is 90's cartoons and what are our favourite 90's memorable cartoons.
Okay.
So, do you want to start,
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
as you're going to be going to sleep?
So I mean, there's loads. You can talk about hundreds of them, but my favourite was Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, yes.
Just
yes.
being a little kid that created bases out of cushions and stuff. Just like he just had it. And one of the funniest episodes I can remember was where Dexter is spying on his sister, who has her friends over for a sleeping party or something.
Wait, in a
Sleepover.
kids'
Sleepover, yeah.
That's a kids' TV show.
I know, yeah,
That's
yeah.
a kids' TV. Why?
And he hides in. Well, he creates like this little sort of hidey. How do I put it? It's like a little
Doesn't he
hideout.
shrink?
No. He hides in the clothes. Her clothes. She's got a pile of clothes in the corner, but there's like a base within the clothes.
Oh, right.
There's like a real.
It's like the clothes of this outer shell.
Yeah,
of his
yeah. But then they find him, and he's got like this like rubber suit on. I just remember it vividly, and it was just hilarious how he got caught. But yeah, and his lab just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
I always wanted to like open my curtain, like or open my curtains, my wardrobe, look out the back and be like, oh, "There's actually a secret base in my wardrobe this entire time." And every time I checked, it was never there.
Yeah, Dexter was great. I always used to say that DT and Dexter were my cousins because my elder cousin used to wind up her little brother, and I was just like, "It's you two, just winding each other up." But I remember the episode where he got shrunk down as a doll, and then he ended up getting a bit loopy, and he thought he was actually married to the doll.
No, I don't remember that one.
And then he takes vengeance because the doll. He walks in and Dee Dee's obviously put her other doll back in the house, and he thinks she's cheating on him, and it goes weird. It goes down the rabbit hole.
They're just great. They're great. They're just when he tries to learn French, and he falls asleep with the like this recorder playing French while he sleeps. So subliminally, he learns French in the morning, but he gets caught because it's an old tape from the 90's. He gets caught on omelette du fromage. And all he can say in the morning is omelette du fromage, and then his base goes to self-destruct because he tries to enter the base.
Yeah, and it won't let him deactivate
because he can't wreck it, and he's going omelette du fromage, omelette du fromage. It's so funny.
That was the heyday of Cartoon Network.
Well, you
Dexter's
had
Lab, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls,
Ed, and Eddie.
yeah.
Courage
And
the
there was
Cowardly
just
Dog.
so many. Was Courage? Courage was Cartoon Network. It was the later Cartoon Network, though. Later show.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network, I think. Actually, no, it went on quite late because you had. Who was the talk show host? There was a.
Was there a host?
No, there was There was a superhero that acted as a talk show host on Cartoon Network.
I
It's like Nighthawk or something.
I do not
Yeah,
remember that.
I know exactly what he's on about.
And it was like the last
Oh.
on a night before it would go off, because it is a
It was-
kids
it was-
TV show.
He'd come on.
He'd come on and he'd
It's not
do the
Phoenix
show.
Wright.
I'd never even remember.
Oh god!
You would if you saw a picture of it, you'd recognise it. It used to look like an old Scooby-Doo style cartoon, or a bit like Venture Brothers, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and he's got a white suit. It's something Phoenix, maybe.
I don't even remember that.
But it's not Phoenix Wright because I can't.
I know Tom and
Space Ghost. That's
So-
it. Space Ghost.
You'd have to put
That's it. Yeah.
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 up on the
Space
Instagram.
Ghost.
That guy on the right.
Yeah.
Don't
Space
know.
Ghost. He kind of did like a talk show host, but he was kind of like a rip-off between Batman and Superman, but doing a talk show host. And he was kind like that went from 1994 to 2008. I didn't even realise it went on that long.
2008.
2008. Yeah.
Is Cartoon Network still going?
In some form, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still going. It's just not quite as
How we used to remember it.
punch the chair.
Yeah. I used to remember the Tom and Jerry in the 90s when I used to watch. I know Tom and Jerry wasn't created in the 90s. But I remember the new Tom and Jerry, but then every now and again they would have the old Tom and Jerry, like the first ever couple of episodes of Tom and Jerry, and they were really cool. Yeah. Like the art was so... I love all hand-drawn stuff like that. That's why I love the old Resident Evil games, with all the backdrop hand-drawn stuff. But yeah, Tom and Jerry was good.
Yeah. Well, funny you saying that about... Because Tom and Jerry was out before the 90s, quite well before the 90s.
It's like the 50s, was it?
But,
the
60s? 50s, 60s?
I put a photo up advertising the podcast on the Instagram, and I put The Simpsons on, and someone came back to me and says, The
80s.
Simpsons is an 80s cartoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it was 1988 it came out.
Yeah, but it was Heydays was the
90s. Its best, most memorable episodes with the 90s, so I'd say it's more...
I mean,
it is one of the only cartoons that is still going.
Yeah,
well, Tom and Jerry's still going.
Well, and it was an adult cartoon originally. It was at 11 o'clock at night.
And Simpsons is still
and then it became a mainstream.
Simpsons can be a 2000s cartoon because it's still going.
Yeah, but...
It's been renewed for another 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's going to go up to at least 34, 33 seasons.
I probably haven't seen one since season 10.
I've seen some. They have repeated some jokes, but there are like some characters that have faded into the back now, like there's the whole Pooh controversy where I don't know if they've retired the character.
I think they have. I read that he wouldn't be in it.
But it's like they've got to do something eventually where like they keep doing these future episodes and they are past, like there was that classic future episode with Lisa becoming president.
Mm-hmm.
They're past that time now.
Yeah.
They've gone past it. So it's kind of like there are programs where they have grown up, so they have actually grown up, sort of. In Family Guy, I know that's not a 90s, that's a 2000s cartoon.
Is that still going?
Family Guy's still going, yeah.
Oh, they just ram these things into the ground. Like, Rick and Morty needs to stop soon as well, because that's run out of steam.
That's kind of a 3 seasons.
Yeah, I know.
But at least they've said 3 seasons, and that's it.
Well, again, it depends how long it's going to be till you get them.
We'll review that again when we get to the end of that 3rd season.
See, I do like things lasting a long time. Because I guess I don't like things to end. I always like to, I always like to be able to relate to something once a week or once a month. But then it's like X-Files did that and it went on and on and on, and now they brought it back and I haven't even touched that. And
I think I watched the first 2 episodes and it was
and then Supernatural's doing it as well, and I love it, but I'm like, oh, it's like how many times can you die and come back and die and come back, and then it's...
Well, I think you saying that, that's one of the biggest things with these 90s cartoons, is you would have a favourite 90s cartoon show, and it would end, and as a kid, you wouldn't understand why your TV show didn't come back on the next day. Like, my prime example was the Spider-Man animated series.
I remember that,
It we'll go find Mary Jane, and it ended.
Yeah,
and it was like, and I kept thinking, if I kept watching the series as they repeated, I was like, okay, we're here. I must have missed the episode where they found Mary Jane, and then the next day it started with the first episode again. I'm like, what is going on?
Home from school.
So I didn't understand.
And not having the concept of seasons.
Concept of seasons. It was just, to me, it was a daily cartoon that I've seen this one before.
Did you just run in from school and sit at the TV and then?
I can't even remember if Spider-Man was. It was probably on SMTV Live.
I don't remember ever watching. I remember watching Reboot. And I remember that just...
Or it's on Nickelodeon.
I remember Reboot just stopping once, and then me never seeing it again, and then never wondering why I never saw it in the TV guide.
It's Fox Kids.
Oh,
Fox Kids. So there was Fox Kids, there was Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon on Fox Kids. And those were the 3 main kids, apart from CITV, because you used to come in and watch cartoons, like the Rugrats or something used to be on.
Yeah.
So that was obviously a great one. And a show that probably should have ended, but did what the Simpsons have done, where they actually aged the characters, because they came back. Rugrats, they aged them because they came back with Grown Up or something.
Wasn't it like the new Rugrats?
Well, they were all in high school.
Yeah.
And it didn't do very well.
No.
Because I don't think they realised. I don't know how they solved the fact that they probably didn't remember that they talked as babies, but yeah, but. Those were the cartoons. So you had Rugrats, Wild Thornberrys. Those were in the same genre, and I think
it was the same style. Nickelodeon.
You had Cow and Chicken.
I remember that one.
That was weird.
IR Baboon.
IR Baboon, and you had the parents that cut off.
Yeah, you never saw their
Top half of the body.
Well, their shadows were even cut off. If you see some of the pictures, their shadows actually end with them just being. So it was a running joke that they were just legs.
See, like Cow and Chicken and the Courage the Cowardly Dog, how that shit got aired to kids, man. Like some of it was weird.
Ren and Stimpy.
I don't remember that. Actually.
That might be a bit. That might be like.
Might be towards.
That was more in the Beavis and Butthead realm of things.
But there was the Monsters Academy or whatever it was.
I've got chewing gum.
But so you had the monsters, the one that looked like the candy cane, the black and white one that looked like the candy cane, and then you had the one that held his eyeballs everywhere that he went.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, I don't think I ever sat and watched it, but I
watched it. It was fun. Yeah. It was fun. I don't. Yeah, it was essentially it's kind of like a similar concept to Monsters Inc., but they were training to scare people, and they'd go out and try and scare people. And I can't remember. All I remember is. Them scaring people and living inside a big mound of garbage in the dump.
Yeah.
But again, that was. I just cartoons nowadays. There's only been a few, and fair enough, I'm in my 30s. That I would say I could have sat down and watched that.
Like cartoons that come out now.
Cartoons that come out now, they're not. I don't see them anyway. But the only cartoons I will say that I still watch are cartoons that have carried on from when I was a kid. So you've got your anime that I've obviously carried on watching.
Anime's a bit of a different beast, though, isn't it? It's not inherently kids.
Yeah.
Like you
a
can
lot
watch.
Of adults are watching it.
You can watch and appreciate that as an adult from scratch without ever having watched it as a kid.
But again, there's like DC. I think I spoke about this before with the DC animated universe.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of kept a continuation universe going in their cartoon.
The Batman animated series.
It's no longer the Batman animated, but the Justice League happened. So Batman animated was there in the 90s and kind of changed at the end and then turned into the Justice League. The Justice League turned into Justice League Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of faded off. But they've kind of always kind of stuck around. That those characters, they always have the same voice actors, which is always helpful to kids as well. Yeah. So you can instantly recognise Kevin Conroy as Batman. But so what would you say is your all-time favourite overall then of your 90s cartoons?
Bloody Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That or the Thundercats equal billing.
Are they both 90s though?
They may have started in the 80s, but they're definitely.
You watched them in the 90s.
Well, no, they were definitely on in the 90s, and that was when because I would have been watching them when I was. I would have been watching when I was like 5 or 6, which would have been like 90, 91. So
there were so many to me, like Top Cat as well, Johnny Bravo. But I probably would go for Dexter's Laboratory. I do. A close second would be Courage the Cowardly Dog because I love some of the weirdness that just came out of that program.
Mine will be X-Men.
Of course, it would.
I didn't see. I never watched the Spider-Man or the X-Men.
I remember the theme tune to X-Men vividly, but I never watched it.
It was really good. Well, I could list them all. It would be all the superhero ones, but X-Men was the one that was my favourite.
It was the most popular one.
It was the most popular one. Obviously, that was the first superhero film of the new genre because of the popularity of the. Well, it was.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, did Spider-Man come? Sam Raimi's Spider-Man come first?
No, I think X-Men came first.
Was it like a year before?
It was in that period. We had like a dark, gritty superhero realism period.
The superheroes wear leather and black and not their silly... Because audience won't relate to the costumes. And the audience are like, where are the silly costumes?
Yeah, I never watched them. I should have done probably. But
it was always the theme tunes on these programmes anyway. Like, you kind of probably not remember the episodes or the characters' names too well, but you can remember the X-Men theme tune, Spider-Man theme tune. You can remember most of Cow and Chicken. Cow and Chicken. Yeah.
Cow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is another one that's ingrained into your face, and probably the Ghostbusters cartoon as well.
Yeah.
But actually, the 90s had a period where you would just make cartoon series from films. And there was even a Men in Black one.
Yeah,
I do remember that one.
Yeah, I remember the Men in Black.
He didn't look anything like Will Smith.
I think I was just a little bit too old to like fall into that
Was that before the first film or after?
It was after the first
No,
film.
they made the
So
film.
I never watched the film till later on in my life.
That again might have been early 2000s, late 90s. I can't remember.
There was a period of time where Will Smith films were just exactly like that. Wild Wild West, Men in Black were all like these Will Smith comedies.
Well, speaking of Wild Wild West, because you just mentioned it, segue to the film of the week.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
So the film of the week this week is, if you listened last time, was The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
You're the only one who hadn't seen
I'm
it.
the only one that hadn't seen it, and I didn't realise, hands up, that it was going to be all short stories.
Even though
We said.
Yes,
We
I know.
said, right.
I must have forgot, and it was like after the first one ended, which I will say was the best one.
yeah,
I was like, oh, it's going to be short stories, and you can imagine who tuned out pretty much straight away.
Yes.
But
John's wife.
they know who.
Wait,
Kate
John
is.
got married.
Not everyone knows who Kate is.
Not everyone, but most people know she's married. Man, get away. But
Fucking hell.
Because there's a queue at the fucking door, John.
But the first one, the whole opening with that, the Buster Scruggs.
I wish it had kept that momentum all the way through.
Oh.
I appreciate every single one was different, and
Yes.
I really enjoyed some of them. But I wish it had kept the momentum of that first one all the way through.
That first one, I was literally watching it, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is like, I should have watched this when I was playing Red Dead. There's the cowboy vibe, the singing, and the folk songs.
I could have watched the entire film of Buster Scruggs.
I could have watched the entire film of Buster Scruggs, and like he goes into this, but he's generally, obviously, he's a wanted man, and he's got to have done some horrible things, but he just generally comes across as such a nice guy. Walks in, can I have some whiskey? We got no whiskey. What are they drinking? Whiskey. He's like, okay. And he says something to him, and then the next
don't let
thing,
my demeanour and my
Yeah.
fool you. I'm partial to the old illegal stuff myself. You know what I mean?
and
If you don't mind me saying, he's so funny.
and then he just shoots everyone, and then the guy's just walking out. He goes, "Let me get the door for you."
When he kills that guy with the table,
Oh, that was
I was howling.
His brother's got him in the end, and he's got like he's holding his head and trying to wake him up. He's got like holes in his face.
He wipes the blood away. And it all just appears. To be honest, he didn't even shoot. Actually, he would have, because if he shot the table, he would have gone like that, straight up
Through
his
his
head.
Yeah.
But it was like, now, you need to go dispose of that gun in the receptacle by the door, as I have done kindly as I entered this establishment. And he's like, well, I'm just going to shoot. And he goes, you can't do anything about poof, poof, poof.
Yeah, just-
One last one, just to make sure he goes down. And I was howling.
yeah.
I've seen it in the trailer, but I was literally howling.
Is it in the trailer? I didn't know if he's in
It
the
is in the trailer. Literally, Buster Scruggs is the trailer,
Yeah.
which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah. I think because the second one about the bank robbery with James Franco,
Yes.
that's fine. That was
That was
fine.
hilarious.
Pan
It was
shot,
quite
yeah,
funny,
It
yeah.
was, but then he just went nowhere, and he
Yeah.
just got killed, and it was an odd thing.
It was just that one reminded me of Many Ways to Die in the Wild Wild West.
Oh yeah, that is a terrible
movie.
Yeah,
I've not seen that.
that's Seth MacFarlane trying to write and direct his own live action comedy.
It
that
wasn't
isn't Ted.
horrendous, but it wasn't a good film.
You
It
wouldn't
had
watch
some
it
good.
twice.
You wouldn't watch it twice, no. It had some good actors in it. So it had Liam Neeson in, and what's
So
her name?
did this.
What's her name?
What's his name?
Played lady in Mad Max.
Oh,
Charlize Theron.
Yes.
There we go. She's in it as well. Yeah, like a character like her would go with a guy like Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, but that makes sense. But anyway, Buster Scruggs. The James Franco one was hilarious with the whole. He's gone robbed his bank and this guy has ran at him with pans.
Yeah, it's
he
brilliant.
can't hit it.
Yeah,
Headshot!
I love how he's got all the shotguns lined up underneath the desk to blow their legs off. If you-
It was hilarious. He was a character. Played someone in Star Trek. I think was it Neelix?
Yes. No,
I think it was Neelix.
he was in it though.
He was in it.
He was in this movie, but I don't think it was that he played him. I don't want to check.
Oh, yeah.
him, but
But and then he's tied up and he's been sentenced to death and he manages to keep his horse and he gets this guy who's robbed this cattle and he gets done for this and then a whole reaction to the guy first time.
yeah,
And then I thought something was going to happen, like the rope was going to snap when they dropped him, but no.
It was. I understand why they did it because they made you realise, at the end of every one of these 6 stories, the character's going to die. The main character's going to die, which means when you get to the third one or the fourth one. Was the third one?
There were 2 long ones. There were 2 really long ones. So the Buster Scruggs one didn't feel like an age. That was a fun one with the songs and the guy walking in singing, and then he does exactly the same trick to him that he's just done.
Yeah.
That was great. That didn't feel like a long one. The James Franco one slowed it down, a little bit different, but again, that was relatively short. And then I can't remember if it was the gold first.
The gold was the third one.
The gold guy.
And then it was the...
So it's the
then
Ballad,
it was the wagons.
The wagons.
It's the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Then it's the pan shot. And then it's the
Gold.
Prospector. And then the third one's the one with the kid that's got no arms and no legs. And that was depressing on a plane.
Yeah.
Neville.
Yeah.
Neville Longbottom.
That's not Neville Longbottom. It was Dudley Dursley.
He gives a shit.
Fucking
Harry Potter. Who gives a shit?
And then it was the wagons.
That one
that was the last
boring
one.
up until
That's the last one, isn't it?
No,
the last one.
because the last one was even more boring.
The last one is the one I love. The last one.
Really?
Hold on, the last
one is the wagon.
Hold on. The wagon. You just said the wagon.
No,
So there's the wagon trail.
He means the carriage. The last one is the carriage.
The last one is the carriage. The carriage where they end at a hotel, and it ends with them walking into a hotel.
So the last one.
Yeah, what was that?
So the last one. The last one's almost like
Let's just do the Prospector first.
Yeah.
Because so we talked about the Ballad of the first one, and
Yes.
then the second one was obviously
Pan shot.
Yeah, which is funny. The third one was Prospector, which I thought was brilliant.
I learned a lot about digging for gold in that one as well.
I thought that I was like, this is really, really smart.
Where he puts the sticks up in a line. Where I was like, that's really good.
He must have been about 90, that geezer.
Yeah.
And the guy is actually very, very, very famous.
I think it was all very famous people in this. Like the next one after that, who didn't say probably 4 words, was Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, that was a good
but
one.
the Prospector one was just the whole presence of man. It gave you the presence of man in the Wild West. Like all nature disappeared while he was there.
Yeah, all the animals buggered off for a bit.
But he was a genuinely nice person because he got stared down by an owl. And I went, okay, fine, I'll just take one.
Yeah.
Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Tom Waits.
But then when he finds it and the whole... I thought, oh, God, another depressing ending.
But he gets shot.
When he gets shot, and I was like, oh, God.
I thought this geezer's not dead.
Yeah,
because they really howled on it.
After the second one, I'd figured, every single main character is going to die at the end of each story. So when he got shot, I was like, yeah, there we go. And then he doesn't die, and I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
Brilliant. And he's like, he gets to the river, and he's like, oh, God. And then he said he's gone straight through. And he's
you didn't shoot anything important. You didn't shoot anything. But, and then it was just a whole concept, and I felt his rage, you weasel, as he's beating him with his own gun and shoots him. Make me do all the work, an old man do all the work, and then shoots him. But then he obviously gets a huge hunk of gold, and then disappears, and then the nature all comes back, and the deer just looks in the hole and is like,
Yeah, but that whole canyon shot is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
you could
that's
just
obvious.
build a little cabin there and just chill, man.
Well, that's what I thought he originally was going to do, and I didn't do any research into it before I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is a guy who's going to come in, he's going to start a gold mine, and then a whole thing that this is going to be is this valley, beautiful, pristine valley, is going to turn into a gold town, a gold village, which obviously sprung up. And it will look like something like Five Goes West by the end of it.
Yeah.
See, now I just thought cabin. With a nice F in it.
I thought that would have been a nice place.
A nice cabin in the middle of nowhere with a good Ethernet connection. That's all you need. And a couple of beers.
I'm surprised there were no bears. I thought it's going to end up with him getting... I thought originally the shadow was going to be a bear standing on the hole. Because they alluded to no other person in that canyon for the whole thing. But... that one had a nice happy ending, but then the next one, which was the Liam Neeson and the
artist one,
the artisan one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That nearly put me to sleep.
So this is actually called. So I've got them all here. It's called the meal ticket.
Yeah, because he was using that kid as his way of getting food, and then when
He weren't his son, though, was he? How
No.
did he end up with
He
him?
must have found him, and then he used... Because he was just... Because you knew he was just using him when that mathematical chicken came along. He bought the mathematical chicken.
I thought there was a glimmer of hope at the end where he's like sitting in the... He's looking back and you can see him thinking. And I thought the next shot was going to be them eating a chicken. So they took out the competition. I thought it was going to be like that, but nope. Nope. I can't even remember what he says because it bored me so much.
Have you ever been to the valley, or a brook, and you've thrown a massive boulder into, and it goes dum? That was the kid, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that. I pretty much got that. We went out and tested because I think he wanted to make sure that he would sink, not just be
not just
there,
land on the phone.
not just literally be sat in the water, freezing to death. He wanted it to be a death. He didn't want it to be a painful.
Well, if you threw him in the water, he'd probably just like if he didn't die on impact, he'd probably just drown.
Yeah, but he'd be dead in like 2 minutes instead of if he just.
Because that's better than.
Well, more better than a 45-minute just stand there and freeze to death. He can't even shudder. Look, he didn't have any arms to hold
just
himself.
cave his skull in or something quick.
That's
So the poem it says here is I can't pronounce this, by the way. Osmanideus.
No, yeah, you're
Cain
close.
and Abel's
Ozymandias.
works by Shakespeare.
Ozymandias, yeah, it's a character from The Watchmen.
Yeah. Which one was that now?
The guy who turned out to be the villain.
Oh, the
Ozymandias,
yeah, okay.
yeah. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking then who you were on about, but yeah, that's another film we'll have to talk about another time. But and so there wasn't really much to that one. Liam Neeson was, I think, there just as a star pull people in because it's got Liam Neeson's name
Well, the
attached
guy
to
that
it.
did The Prospector is probably more famous than Liam.
Yeah.
Neeson. Way more famous.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like from the 50s. Well, to older.
Yeah, he probably starred in original cowboy films.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. And then there was the wagon train one.
Right up until the end, bored the crap out of me.
Really, I like that one.
So the next one's called The Gal Who Got Rattled. And is this the one where...
So she's going to
Is this
get
the one where
married.
she kills herself at the end? Yeah, man. Like that guy, you know, and he wasn't saying anything, the partner of the ranch train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a bit like, I'll kill her or kill him or something, because
Yeah.
he's like, you can't leave me on my own. And he was like a bit of a badass, man.
He was
he
a
reminded me of
badass.
He reminded me of this like Arthur Morgan, like I've been
Well, his
there.
name was
done it.
Arthur as well.
Was he? Yeah.
I've been there, done it, seen it all, kind of thing, and like whatever. And this
Didn't
guy
he shoot his horse and lay behind his horse and got all the guns out and was like, Miss, if they don't rape us and murder us by this time. And
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, this guy's he's obviously been through it all, hasn't he?
So, yeah, that one was weird, because it started off as... It reminded me, the start of it, as Django, where they're in the manor house and they're talking around a table, and she's like saying, I'm going to go off and I'm going to meet this guy and I'm going to marry, and I'm going to have to be his wife, blah, 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 blah. And you can quite clearly tell by her demeanour she doesn't want to do this. And then you meet her brother, and he's talking and coughing, and I was like, he's going to die, and lo and behold, he died.
So the way this is all done, by the way, I had to go through this list but the Coen brothers, obviously the directors.
they've done some really good movies.
Yeah, and the whole look of this and the whole that sort of stuff where we cough in and it's all very, very similar. Like just some honourable mentions like Miller's Crossing, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother Where Art Thou? They're just Lady Killers. It's like it's all the same, like the way it's all done.
You can see a Coen Brothers movie and instantly recognise it as one.
But this one was supposed to be, originally, how it was being written out at the start, was a love story between what's his name? John. I think it was John.
Yeah, there's the like second.
The second in command was John, and he was basically essentially courting the lady. He'd buried her brother. He tried to solve her problem for her. He was trying to solve all her problems, but failing a little bit each time. Like, I'll go shoot the dog. The dog got away. I'll talk to this guy. No, he's standing firm. He wants his money. Okay, let's get married. And that obviously doesn't end very well.
When they were going to kill the dog, I was like, shit. I was like, no.
Well, yeah. I was a little bit like that.
But the fact that each story was slowly spiralling from the most happiest Buster Scruggs, spiralling downwards into this like everyone was getting more and more miserable. Yeah.
I was a little confused when she was on the horse with the dog. I thought she'd gone mad and she'd gone and killed the person that was proposing to her. I thought she's gone mad. This is why they'd whispered something to her, and he'd been told that she's a mad psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
Like some crazy. You've had them in films before where it's the woman that's the actual crazy person, and the men are following the woman. But she's gone off. She's killed. Oh, it was in bloody Red Dead Redemption 2, actually. Yeah, one of the bounties was this woman kept marrying people and killing them, and she was the actual crime person. It was one of the bounties in Red Dead. Spiraling.
I don't know what you just had explained
But
to us.
I mean, I loved the program, the whole thing, the way it was shot and all that. That's what I look at in the Coen Brothers things. But it was just depressing. It just and then the last one, I don't even. You have to refresh my memory here. So what happened? Like they got freaked out in the end, didn't they? Were they bounty hunters or something?
So, how this one started, where you've got
they're all talking in the
very posh-looking guy, well-presented guy.
This was not Django. This was Hateful Eight.
This was very similar to Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
So you've got the well-dressed guy. He's telling a story. I think you tune in halfway through the story, and he's telling it to the other people. So there's his associate who sat next to him, and then there's three other people opposite. One's a pelter, the other's a lady that's married to a professor, and the other guy's a Frenchman, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Frenchman. They don't say what his profession is. But they're obviously talking, and the hunter basically goes on to why people think he's weird. And while he's telling the story, people are like, yep, we know why you're weird. You're not shutting up and you're talking to us. And I kind of felt this one as they were on, similar to the River of Styx, they were on the road to hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I
thought it was like the journeyman taking them.
I thought it was the journeyman, and the two bounty hunters were either. I thought there was going to be a twist. Either the bounty hunters have got this bounty, and all three of them are bounties that they want alive, and they've just happened to get them all in this carriage. Or they're all dead, and they're going to the afterlife. Because they're all saying what they do and what's happened. So essentially, those bounty hunters could have been killed by that guy who's on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
The hunter could have been killed by something he hunted. The Frenchman, I don't know, he was coughing in the thing, he could have died of that.
There were a lot of
clues to say that these 5 people had died, especially the...
they shout at the carriage driver.
The carriage driver, he doesn't stop.
He just ignores them,
Oh, so you think they're on their way to hell?
I think it was symbolic of them going to the afterlife. The only thing that would obviously say different at that is they actually get to a hotel, but there's no one in the hotel reception. There's no lights on in any of the nearby towns. It's a shadowy thing as the rider just literally turns off and goes back again. He doesn't even stable up for the night.
There's fog. There's fog around the hotel. You can't even see if they're in a town or.
So this is called the Mortal Remains.
Yeah, so that would give a good hint to it. But the guy with the two posher guys, the two bounty hunters, tell some fantastic stories, and I remember just being hooked. I got a little bit fed up with the Frenchman arguing with the professor's wife, saying, "Well, you don't know people. Love to you is different love to him, and love and all this." And it's like, well, you don't have that conversation with someone you're stuck next to in a carriage. Because I thought she was going to get that umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Django, and she's going to stick it into him. But the stories that were told by the two bounty hunters, like, were great, and the singing, and it was just great, and it gave this whole we're on our way to death, basically, hell, I would assume. There's most people are probably in the, which made it even funnier for the first one. The Buster Scruggs went to heaven.
Oh shit! Yeah, it started with someone going to heaven, and then
ending with.
And the one in the middle, the person ended with someone not dying, the main character not dying, and then reverted. The last one was possibly going to hell.
Yeah, so it was very well filmed and very well put together with how these stories have been placed in.
Coen Brothers man are very, very good.
But it's like, I really wish I could remember the stories they said, because there was some great lines, and it was like they were talking about you don't know people and all this, and that was probably my second favourite one.
Really?
I really enjoyed that.
I think the one...
I watched them all in one go.
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
Yeah, I did, but that doesn't ring... It doesn't ring a bell, the last one, really. I can't remember. That's how much it got lost on me in the end. I was
the pace started quick and then gradually slowed. They didn't chop them up to kind of quick and like it wasn't like a up and down pacing. It was like start really quick, funny and exciting, and then slow down almost to like a crawl pace. Where the last one is only one. The entire thing is filmed in one small carriage, and it just slows down. And by that point, I was a bit like, I was a bit drained after the wagon one. Well, the end of the wagon one was very good. But all in all, though, it was very good. I knew it was like I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well,
I just want more Buster Scruggs.
I want more Buster Scruggs. Like that was played by Tim Blake Nelson, and you wouldn't think of him just in the films that he's played before, because normally he plays like a scientist or the stooge or the go-to guy to get something sorted. But in this one, he was a badass gunslinger, and when he got shot again, he knew it was right. A younger buck has basically come down and thrown him down.
The better you get, the more people there are.
It was just the contrast, though, in regards to it, which was the symbolism as well. He was dressed in white, and the other character was dressed in black, but the guy was from the law. Yeah. He was dressed in black.
Yeah. Was he from the law?
Yeah.
He was from the law. He was basically come to collect a bounty.
Oh, I just thought he was another gunslinger.
But it was he might have been, but I interpreted that he was from the law and he was a sheriff. And it was just... So they in everything they pictured, the Buster Scruggs was the actual good guy. It's just circumstances make him be a bad person. And, he tricked that guy, the brother, the one, he just killed the guy in the table and he shot the brother and basically he went, we don't want you pulling that trigger. And he shoots off all his fingers and thumbs. So he didn't immediately go for the kill shot. And when he still went for the gun, he went, okay, let's do a trick shot, and got his mirror out. And then the other guy did exactly what he did to him.
The only similarity is that he asked if he wanted a count.
Yeah.
And then he shot him straight away.
He shot him straight away.
His mullet. Brilliant.
And then he sings a song, and they both sing a song, a duet song from the heavens and earth, which is
brilliant.
Was hauntingly beautiful.
And then it just went downhill from there. It was alright. Yeah.
You didn't? What didn't you rate it then?
No, I did, but only the Ballad of Buster Scruggs and the Prospect.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs. If that had been a full, I don't know how they would have extended that into a full film. Essentially, that would have been probably Wild Wild West.
I think I enjoyed even the one with the guy with no arms and legs. I enjoyed it, but man, it was dark.
Yeah, it was dark. It
was the second from the last one. Kind of, I lost concentration and I didn't get it back. Although the end of it was.
I think the Buster Scruggs one and the wagon one, the wagon train, were very much to me. Oh, these are Red Dead.
Yeah.
I'm playing Red Dead. Like, even though I never actually did it in Red Dead Redemption 2, I never actually had a draw contest in the middle of town. No, I never. I was always a nice person.
I'm sure there was story.
There was story things where you had to do it, but I never did it where I got into a fight in town and they called me out into the street. But anyway, that was our film of the week. I can't remember who it is picking the next film of the week. It's you. What's the film of the week next week?
It's not a film.
Okay.
It's a documentary. We're going to go with something that happened in real life recently that is so far out of our anything we'd be interested in that it's really interesting to talk about it. We're going to watch the Fire Festival documentary about that festival in that island.
I've heard about it.
I've got it on my watch list.
So I watched the documentary and it was because I had no interest in a festival like that and what goes on in social media and influencers and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. But when something goes wrong, then I'm interested.
I heard about this. Funny enough, I rang my old mate, my old work colleague on Friday. I told you about this, John. And one of the things we actually spoke about other than work and stuff was that documentary. And he said, like, you got to watch it. It's on my watch list. It's on my watch list. So.
It's it doesn't leave anything open to interpretation. It's very good. It's very good. It's from a world that I would never experience, and that's why I found it quite interesting. And how can people of my age or a little bit younger have this much responsibility and
we were talking about it at work and apparently is it Ja Rule?
Yeah.
Ja Rule says he's going to do Fire Festival 2.
Yeah.
James Franco and Seth Rogen are going to do a film based on it.
Because that's what they do.
That's what they do. Take real life situations.
You've seen
and make
Escape
it.
Artist?
I haven't seen Escape
It's really
Artist.
Good. It's really good, yeah.
Is Escape Artist?
The Disaster Artist, sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was about to say that's the one where they go over and interview thingy.
Nope, that's the interview.
That's the interview. Oh, okay.
Fucking hell, John. Wake up!
I'm awake. I'm probably the most awake. But yeah, they're going to do a film, and Jarrell's going to do apparently another one. But it's just I hadn't heard of it until it just came out of nowhere, and everyone was talking about it. That these people had spent this much money, and I was like, how did these people have this much money?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So okay, so what's the documentary called, and where can I get it?
I think it's just called. It's Netflix. I think it's just called Fire Festival.
Fire
It's
Festival.
Fire.
Okay. Right. I've just realised something we haven't spoke about, but hey ho, we'll have to talk about it next week.
We'll watch it next week when we watch. We will talk about it next week when we watch all of it.
He's on
Yeah.
about the Umbrella
Okay.
Academy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I haven't finished all of it yet.
I'm on episode
Mike's
5,
finished it.
and I'm
I-
loving
I
it.
done that,
Yeah.
man.
I'm loving it.
So
Amazing.
yeah, next week we'll be talking about the Umbrella Academy and the Fire Festival documentary. So I'm assuming because I'm hosting, it will be the guest, the character this week will be weirdly Mike versus Harry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So okay, so as we said last week, there's 5 clues, and you will only get one guess from now on. So you don't get your second guess because it just stops you eliminating someone with the John Wick one or hesitating. So your first clue: Hunter.
Yep.
Second clue:
Yep.
Mutation.
Could be an X-Men maybe or something. I don't know.
Next clue: Swords.
Deadpool.
No.
That did pop into my
Yeah.
head just before you said it.
Fourth clue: Roach.
Oh, it's Geralt of Rivia.
Geralt of Rivia, you
Oh,
are
yeah.
correct. And the last clue would have been White Wolf.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I only got that though through his horse name.
yeah. I thought I'd give you it. You would have got it on the last two because I didn't really have originally have Hunter as Monster Hunter, but I thought that's 2 words.
Yeah.
And I thought he gave it away too easily. But
I did think
yeah.
Deadpool though.
so that was
You
Geralt
said
of
2
Rivia.
swords, so I was like, yes.
Mutation and Swords.
My original character pick was Indiana Jones, and I remember we've had Indiana Jones last year. I'm pretty sure,
Nope.
didn't we?
Nope.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we did. Or I guessed Indiana Jones.
Yep.
That was it. I guessed Indiana
was
Jones.
Lara Croft.
And it was Lara Croft. Okay, so that's all for this week. So next week, join us when we talk about the Umbrella Academy and the Fire Festival as our film of the, documentary of the week. And for more Overthinking Media, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on our various social media outlets, which is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Outlets.
And that's it. For more Overthinking Media at overthinkingmedia.com. Yay!